Welcome back to today's sad reality, because I actually remember what I was going to talk about yesterday, which is kind of crazy. I'm using a really good seed in Muck because I have nothing better to do, and Tori said to. So yeah, Tori, you're here. Say something if you'd like.
Hello.
So, nice. So I've learned that I'm better at doing this with someone around, even if they add a minimal amount to the conversation. People don't like dead, like, space in conversations, which means that even if I'm not talking, they'll eventually say something, which keeps me a little bit more alive, and it also means I actually have an active audience versus me just sitting here by myself. Anyways, he's just gonna, well, aggro all of these guys, we kill all of them. So I did some brief research before this video, because I was like, oh, the Chief Spear? I thought the Nightblade was the best thing in the game. Turns out it's not. Chief Spear actually has slightly higher range, and actually scales a little bit harder with perks. According to a few users that did some testing with this. Although I don't really care that much, I don't plan on going that far. Most of these videos last 10, maybe 20 minutes max. So I finally remember what I was going to talk about last night, and I'm kind of happy that I remembered. Because if I didn't remember, that's sad. And it was, quite simply, so... Tori, you ever gone to a retail store before? You ever bought things from a store?
I have.
Do you have like a membership in any place?
I do actually. Yes, I
You do?
do.
Okay. And not like you have to say those places or anything, but here's your funny thought, right? So, yesterday, we were really bored, and I talked about this in the video, and I was just like, we were really bored, that was about it. I have nothing to talk about, this is going to be a boring video. But, on the contrary, there was one thing, and I just forgot about it, because it was just about midnight, and I was super tired, and I felt kinda sick, if you couldn't tell from all the coughing and sneezing in the video. All of my allergies are like that, where we'll just be like that some days, and then I'll be totally fine the next day for some reason. Spooby, hunger drain slower. Which that's actually kind of useful, because I feel like hunger in this game kind of sucks sometimes. But so what are like the rewards at like your different place, you know? Like what do you get for having the membership?
Generally discounts.
Discounts, points, all that. Adrenaline. Oh boy, okay. So, yesterday we were so bored, my manager was going through Google reviews of our store. And she noticed there was a review in there just for her that said 1 star, putting in this review in just for her name, and then didn't elaborate anymore. Just like never shopping there again. So we're like, okay, let's check this. So what we did was, so this is Google, you can check people's Gmail or like their name or whatever. So what we did was we found their name and we did a reverse lookup in our store database, or like the entire database that the company like has or whatever. Found their user. And you can probably see where this is going. But we were like, okay, is this like a real person? Like, what's the deal with this? And I didn't really care. I could tell she was like kind of deeply offended by it, because it was probably just a return that we denied, because people return things that are garbage all the time. And well, for starters, they weren't lying. They did actually stop shopping at this store, and everyone else was like, honestly, probably a good thing, because we don't like taking people that are pissed off. Like, sometimes less customers is very much a blessing. Sure, it hurts the bottom line inevitably. I don't know if you know this, but so I should probably not do this now. This is probably an awful idea to do it this early. There is a phenomenon in economics. It's not letting me eat the mushroom. There we go. Phenomenon in economics that basically goes like this. 80% of your customers are like 20% of your income, but the rich 20% are actually 80% of like the amount that the store receives. Just for perspective, like an average person might spend maybe like $100 at the store. You know, it's a sporting store, you know, stuff like that. Now, richer people sometimes will spend 1,000. I've seen upwards of that. People buying treadmills, you know, and that's a lot. That's 10 times like the average or like the median, we'll say, and that obviously tips things in one way or another. But we don't know what this customer, how much they spent, right? We just know that they stopped shopping with us and started going to places that were like adjacent. And this turned into some really funny conundrums of what if, you know, a little bit of revenge. So you can actually change their information in there. And someone's idea was like, what if you just go into the database and change his name to like Bad Survey Guy? So that whatever employee has to read that out. It's like, oh, you're the Bad Survey Guy. Are you Bad Survey Guy? Is that your name in the... the store, whatever. But it's kind of funny because that was literally like all we did for maybe half an hour, just nothing else. And I forgot to talk about that. So in TLDR, don't harass retail workers or apparently go online and leave bad reviews because apparently managers get pissed off by that just a little bit. Oh, the weird soup. I need this.
Okay, but that's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny, and I'm like, I feel a little bit bad because, like, we didn't actually do anything with them. I was like, hey, we should, like, not do that. I did help find it because I kept putting in a bunch of zip codes that were around here because I have a bunch of zip codes memorized from the number of database entries I've created myself. And I'm not going to say those out loud because obviously that's kind of like doxing or whatever. But, I think I got it on my second try. I just changed the last 2 digits, and, I was like, oh, hey, I found it. And the guy had a unique enough name where we were confident it was him because it's the exact same name on Google as it was. I was going to refill all my stats. Oh, wow, it's a lot. Did you see the stats just jump up there when I ate the one weird soup?
I saw it.
But yeah, sorry. So that was kind of the funny thing from yesterday. And I guess as far as all that goes, that's very much a thing that people can do, I guess. Like, I don't know. I understand systems being in place to protect people, but then there's nothing stopping you from, like, if someone's mad and they have the power to do just about anything in, like, a store setting or anything else, they can probably do it. Same manager I've seen kick people out for pretty much whatever reason, so. Yeah, fun story, I guess.
It's nice. Is that legal to do?
I don't think it's not like it's illegal. I don't think there's any law saying you can't just, like, change someone's entry in a database. I think it's probably not wanted, and I assume within the company you're not supposed to do that for obvious reasons. But that was something that they were definitely contemplating yesterday. Again, we were bored just going through reviews. Reviews of the store review, meme review. For what it's worth, though, I could definitely understand some of the 1-star reviews, because, like, it's not a perfect place, and there are some days where my coworkers are very much not in a good mood. And same kind of goes for me. Yesterday, I just wasn't really feeling it. About to sneeze.
Let's do in advance.
There we go. But it's not like we have to take that out on people, you know? It's like we can be, well, when I say normal people, everyone's like, well, you gotta take out that anger somewhere, and I'm like, or you can just be a dude and just not ever do anything about it.
Civilized person. That is true.
You know, bottle it up, and then I can't finish the rest of that sentence, but something about a school. And yeah, so, point being, there's better ways of dealing with that. And maybe not make bad jokes about it. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, so how about your animations? You want to talk about that any? I don't know, I freaking half-hour shower this morning and came with an entire D&D campaign. Talk about that as well.
I mean, the whole D&D campaign. Well, my animations, it's going well. I am using Clip Studio for that.
Nice.
By the way,
I see a lot of people use, like, Flip a Clip, for example.
funny enough, I started with the clip.
It's good. I used to watch Terrain animations on YouTube, so that was definitely my
Honestly,
part.
thinking about it, I think it was watching animation memes and seeing it was done on Flip the Clip most of them. I was like, oh, I have this app. And honestly, I really wish I still had it. Because there are some animations done on Flip the Clip, but they're not saved on my phone.
Dang. Unfortunate. Yeah, that D&D campaign thing, it's kind of funny. I was like, so I'm a college dropout. I get hammered by this guy. Oh, never mind. Anyways,
You're a college dropout.
yeah, so college dropout, and, what I've thought, I was like, man, what if I made a D&D campaign around that, right? So, and I already talked with you about this song, but for the general audience that wasn't dissuaded by the insensitive joke I made earlier, there's, so a funny thing in college where you're just like, man, I've kind of had it with this, professors suck, everything else, and then you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And in my opinion, I don't think it's worth it to any degree unless you specifically need some qualification certification to get your job, or... oh, there he is. Like, unless you specifically need the qualification to get that job, or you're looking to use college to specifically get a job, network, any of that. Otherwise, in my opinion, I think it's kind of worthless. Like, Tori, you could just go out and animate stuff. Nothing's stopping you from going out on YouTube, getting 100,000 subs, and animating, you know? But for the sake of that campaign idea I had, it was take like a half-elf who wanted to become a wizard but kind of gets pissed off with that, because it's like, wait, what if you just do everything else but without actually casting spells, you know? Spell slots are limiting. What if you just make gadgets and devices that do the exact same thing? But they weren't super happy when, you know, instead of hitting targets with a magic missile, you use a crossbow. You know, that's cheating, it's lame. It's not like a wizardy thing, right? But beyond that, what if you had something like much cooler than that? Like instead of casting Firebolt, I don't know, some like Fire Powder or something. But then you step it up really high, you know, you get to your junior level classes or whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, instead of just doing like basic math, now I have to create like a linear algebra matrixy or something, and you're like, oh, that sucks. In wizarding terms, that's like, instead of casting Magic Missile, you gotta summon a living Meteor Storm or something. I don't know. So finding ways to basically create gadgets that could do that, which I feel like in itself is already kind of a class. That's like either a rogue or an artificer, or potentially even an alchemist.
I would just about to say artificer.
Exactly. But how do you do it without that being the case? And I think that's already under class 2, it's an inventor, right? So, for the sake of this, either just like a rogue inventor or whatever, basically, that their entire purpose, everything they're doing, basically, is to get revenge on that school system. Which I thought would be kind of an interesting campaign, because, like, it's just a bunch of wizards versus that, but for the sake of a party, either... let's say not everyone in the party of D&D campaign would want to play a wizard. Someone who hears about the shenanigans going on. But I also gave him a bunch of devices that I thought were sick. Like, imagine, like, temporal smoke bombs, when I talked with you about earlier. Just kind of this idea of,
Sorry, I said free moves within a zone.
yeah, so basically, like, you get sort of like 3 mini turns or whatever, or like 3 bonus actions or whatever, but it applies to everything in like a 3x3 radius. So something like that. So it's like, instead of casting Time Stop, what if you just do that? You know, it's the cooler way of doing it. So I'm gonna keep picking up food off the ground to eat that. Oh, look at that, the cows. The cows are here.
Apples. Why does they fall like that?
I don't know, ragdoll animations. It's kind of funny too, because like everything in this game has like really good graphics for whatever reason. And I was just like, what if instead of that I turn all of those off? I don't know why he also did that. I think the entire point of the game is that it's supposed to look low budget, low quality, and yet for whatever reason it has all those settings. Maybe that's part of the irony, part of the joke.
Maybe because I'm looking at low settings and it looks like your average low poly game.
Mm-hmm. But it is fun with friends. Like, Tori, you could have played with me.
You know, I would probably die.
I mean, with this overpowered weapon, I don't know. When I used to play this back in college, the way stuff would go is one person would usually get all the power-ups, which would usually be me, and then everyone else would be kind of hating it by the end. So in all fairness, in all honesty, I think it's not a game that like everyone can enjoy at the same time. Risk of Rain 2, on the other hand, is kind of like this, but it balances things decently, you know? So like, you can still have a fighting chance even if you don't get everything. Guardians have been located. Press M.
Risk of Rain 2.
Risk of Rain 2, you know the game? Or...
why do I keep muting when I'm speaking? I said I have heard of the game, I just haven't really played it.
Yeah, it's a cool one. Would recommend it. I was about to say, if you hit me again with that, I was probably about to die. One of the nice things too, so I learned some speedrunning, is you can actually just like hide behind trees or whatever and use that to soak damage from guardians or other enemies. Which is definitely preferred to the alternative, which is dying. Don't die. Remember, son.
This is true.
Finish the line, Tori. Finish the... Yeah, so I think that's...
for losers.
Dying is for losers. Yeah. I think that's going to be about it for today's Sad Rowdy, though. I just want to talk about that story from earlier in retail, so I was like, hey, that's kind of funny. And I don't know why, I guess I have extreme early age dementia or something, because I can't remember anything I want to talk about before I actually sit down and do it. I'm like, hey, I might as well, if I've got time earlier in the day, record something, make something out of it, and hopefully not get canceled in the process from whatever stream of nonsense is spewed out of my mouth. Anyways, thanks for watching, have a fantastic rest of your night, and I will see you in the next video. Tori, you want to say anything? Go check out his animations if you ever post any online, I guess.
Do not link me. Goodbye, good day. Stay hydrated.
Yep. Hydrate or dihydrate. Have a good rest of your night.